Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers. Those who lack intellect are seen as the worst creatures in God's sight. Surely the worst of beasts in God's eyes are those who are deaf and dumb and do not use their intellect. 8:22. Society will try harder to make you think and act like them. If you're not, you will get labeled as crazy and weird. So the first thing to start your journey toward intelligence is accepting that you may seem crazy to average people. And society is controlled by the mass, which is controlled by demons. Allah gives us all this gift, but we get brainwashed when we are children through the programmation of the school system. So we Muslims must be aware of these three things in our lives and should teach them to our children as well. Number 1. Reading the Quran with consciousness, and not only for the sake of reading, but for the sake of understanding. This is one of the habits that changed my brain, thinking about every area in life. You see, when you start searching for the meaning of every verse, Allah expands your thinking mechanism, critical thinking and logic as well. And subhanAllah, you start feeling the change in yourself in a short time depending on the honesty in your heart. You will start to understand complex subjects within a matter of short time. This one habit only will make you different. You will start to understand things quickly, and everyone around you will notice that. Back when I was 20, I was miserable thinking that I knew everything. I was studying copywriting, but I was programmed that it's hard and you have to spend years to learn it. I was doing my best to understand it, but with no progress. One day I woke up with Adhan al-Fajr prayer. It's cold and raining, so I forced myself to go shower, pray, and start reading some verses of the Quran. But this time with consciousness and searching for the meaning in every verse. I felt a feeling that I could not express. It was near to reassurance. I opened my laptop and went to practice copywriting with no judgment. The surprise is, what took me weeks to understand took me hours now. I felt my brain, and still never forget it. My brain was processing information so quickly, it's like when you upgrade 32 GB RAM to a laptop. This morning, I knew a secret that changed literally my life. So from now on, add the Quranic meditation to your daily habit. Start small, only with 1 page. A day, then after 1 week, add 2 pages and so on until you build the habit. Every excuse you hear now is from your nafs. Don't listen to it. Start with even 1 verse, just start, with honesty to Allah. As he said in verse 40-60, "Call upon me, I will respond to you." Number 2, this sounds obvious but few pay attention to it. Try your hardest to not do sins, and I mean in every area in your life. Be aware of Allah's watching you in every scene. Imagine you're followed by a hidden camera your whole life. Forget everything in the past, and from now on start watching yourself if you're following your desires or what Allah loves you to do. If you have bad habits in your life, that's okay. Start step by step installing new good habits instead of the bad ones. That's how we eliminate bad habits, by installing the good ones. If you're interested to know the right way to remove the bad habits, leave me a comment. I will read them all. Maybe one of you is asking how the sins have to do with intelligence. You see, many sins kill the heart. It starts with one black point, and the more you sin, the more your heart becomes like a rock. This will influence your thinking patterns and logic negatively. And that's why when you study history, you will notice the end of every tyrant king was so obvious that he's going to fall because he made big mistakes. That with his perspective, he's doing great, but in your situation and thinking pattern, he was buying his death. Sins corrupt the decision-making in the first place, and this will damage your intelligence. Next time, observe how you act and think when you know deep inside yourself that you sinned. Listen, I'm not saying you will not sin forever. We're humans and we cannot stop sinning forever. But we have the choice to watch ourselves and do our best to stop them. Number 3, praying in time. Prayers teach us a lot of things, and one of the main and important things is discipline. We Muslims learn discipline through the core of our religion, prayers. But the key word here is praying it in time. I was praying for 10 years without feeling one single day of its influence until I became aware of praying it in time. Allah said, "Surely the salah at fixed hours of the day and night has been enjoined upon the believers." Quran 4:103. So once you pray in time, everything in your day takes its place, from your work to relationships. It facilitates installing any new habit because you already respect your daily prayer routine. Many things influence your intelligence, like getting good sleep, eating healthy food, studying some subjects, meditation in nature, and many things. But without following these three things, it's like a jet without the fuel. You could have the best jet in the world, but it cannot move. Don't listen to me. Try it by yourself and see what happens. You don't need tons of self-improvement books, and you don't need to listen to the podcast. You just need to understand your book and follow Allah's order and see by yourself. May Allah bless us all with strength, guidance, and blessings throughout this blessed day. Ameen.